All right, so we're going to start off in our prone position. Prone position with our arms in the upper diamond. And then we're going to slowly bring our elbows to the V arm. And then we're going to slowly prop ourselves up onto our elbows, pull our elbows in so that the elbows are underneath the shoulders. This move is known as the Mackenzie press up, and it is supportive to restoring the lumbar curve. So if this feels like it's too high for you, you can slide your elbows away from the being underneath the shoulders. That lowers your body down towards the ground and lessens the lumbar curve. If that seems like it's pretty doable for you, but hard to have your elbows out like this, you can place a pillow or a blanket underneath your chest. But if it feels good for all of you for now, just place your elbows on the ground underneath the shoulders. One of the things we want to look out for is that the shoulders tend to hike up towards the ears, and we just sink our body down. So let's all do that. Let's all sink into the ground with our elbows. Notice how the shoulders rise up towards the ears, and we just kind of shrink into our body. Now press the elbows into the ground, and notice how the shoulders press away from the head, and then that allows for more decompression throughout the spine. And so when we allow the shoulders to come up, we call that the shoulder hike. Sometimes that can feel good on our body and it lessens the elongation in the spine. But when we press the elbows down into the ground and the shoulders lengthen away from our head, that allows for more elongation. So our eye gaze is going to be somewhat down on the ground, like just above the fingertips. Not all the way forward, because then that'll create a crunching neck and a chin thrust. So bring the chin back slightly so the eye gaze is in between like the index fingers. So this is restoration of the lumbar curve is so important because we get stuck in a opposite curve so often. And then we slowly come back down into our upper diamond prone position, and then we feel the body just rest into more of a natural curve. Okay, now let's slowly come back into that Mackenzie press up. Now this time we're going to slowly scoop the chin back so it's closer towards our chest. Then we're going to lift the ribs up off of the ground or away from the ground, and then we're going to lift the thoracic spine up towards the sky. Our pelvic headlights still connect ground, but we're emphasizing the thoracic curve. You notice this is also an abdominal activation. You might start to feel a shake. The elbows are pressing into the ground, not hiking up into your ears. Pelvis still on the ground. Now slowly let the navel return back to the ground. Let's go into the Mackenzie press up, elbows pressing into the ground. Elongate the back of the neck, eye gaze between the index finger. Take a deep breath in, pull the breath up in between your or into the armpit. Now we'll do that movement again. So bring the chin towards the chest. Begin to lift the rib cage up. So you rib knit. This time lift the pelvis up off of the ground just a hair, round the spine, letting the head hang. Pelvis is up off of the ground, similar to a plank but different. Elbows pressing into the ground, chin close to the chest, and slowly lowering the pelvis all the way back down for the Mackenzie press up. Then bring the head back up, eye gaze between the index fingers. So this is working the thoracic spine and lumbar curve, but in a different way. Sink the elbows into the ground, elongate the shoulders away from the head, palm and earth palm. One more time. Begin to lower the chin towards the chest. Slowly begin to lift the ribs up off of the ground or rib knit. Then slowly lift the pelvis up off of the ground just about an inch or two. The knees are pressing into the ground. Feel the abdominals engage and rounding the upper back. We hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We slowly lower the pelvic headlights back down. Lower the navel back down. Slowly lift the head back up. Very good. Now slowly open the elbows. We go back into the upper diamond. Go into the prone position. Okay, so the goal is to mobilize our spine. So let's first slide our right leg out into the lower diamond, the foot towards the midline. Okay, now pull the right elbow into the V arm. Now pull the right knee up to touch the right elbow. So notice how the body is side bent to the right. So the right elbow is touching the right knee. The right knee is lifting up and the right elbow is pulling down. Okay, now slowly lift the right arm up into the push-up arm. So lift the right elbow, keep the right hand on the ground. Now the eye gaze looks up at the right elbow crease. The body is still in a right side bend and adding a right rotation of our rib cage. Now lower the right elbow towards the ground and then bring the eye gaze to face the ground. So get into your right side bend even more. Lift that right knee up, pull that right elbow into the right knee. Feel the right side bend. The right ribs are towards the right pelvic crest, and the right pelvic crest is lifting up towards the ribs, shortening up on this right side. Now lift the right elbow. Notice how your body and your head pulls off to the left slightly. Now rotate your head up so it looks up at the right elbow crease, okay? Now lift the right knee up just an inch and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep the right foot on the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the right knee, lower the right elbow, bring the eye gaze to face the ground. Good work. Now let's see if we can get your knee up even higher. Pull the knee up even higher so the right elbow now stacks on top of, and pull the elbow down so the arm crosses over the top of the right knee. So you're in a deep right side bend. Now lift the right elbow. Press the right hand into the ground. Rotate the head to look at the right elbow crease. So we're in a right rib rotation with the right side bend of the rib cage. Okay, now let's lift the right knee. The right inner foot stays on the ground. Hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the right knee, lower the right elbow. Bring the eye gaze to face the ground. Okay, good. Now slide the right arm back into the upper diamond. Straighten out the right leg. Pull ourselves back into our Mackenzie press up. Elbows underneath the shoulders. Press the elbows into the ground. Shoulders away from the head. Eye gaze between the index fingers. Notice when you get longer in this position. Now drop the chest or the chin towards the chest. Slowly sink the elbows, lift the chest up, lift the pelvis, round the upper back, and flatten out the lower back. Hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin to lower the pelvis all the way back down, lowering the navel. Eye gaze looks up in between the index finger. Take a deep breath in, up into the armpit, ground expanding through the elbows, and slowly opening up the elbows, going back into the upper diamond, forehead on the ground. Okay, now let's bring the left leg up into the lower diamond. Lift the head up gently. Now let's pull the left elbow into the V arm. Bring the left knee up towards the left elbow. Pull the left elbow in to touch the left knee. So the body is side bending to the left. Try to find some comfort here. Now slowly lift the left elbow into the push-up arm. The head pulls back slightly. Then the eye gaze looks up at the left elbow crease. Just feel the stretch throughout the right pec major muscle. Feel the ribs rotating to the left while we're in a left side bend. Really powerful here. Now we're going to lift the left knee. Keep the left inner ankle on the ground. Lift. Hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower back down. And then lower the left elbow, pulling the left elbow and the left knee closer together. Bring the eye gaze to face the ground. Feel how the ribs are side bending to the left. Feel how the rib cage is stacked right on top of the pelvic crest. Lift the left elbow once again. Press the left hand into the ground. Eye gaze looks up at the left elbow crease. Rib cage rotated to the left while the ribs are also side bent left. Slowly lift the left knee by pressing the left ankle into the ground and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the left knee. Lower the left elbow, bring the eye gaze to face the ground. Now let's scoot the left knee up even higher and pull the left elbow down even more. So the left hand elbow stacks over the right knee. Now if your right shoulder begins to cramp up, just straighten it out, come back to the upper diamond. Now lift the left elbow. Press the hand into the ground, rotate the eye gaze to look up at the left elbow crease. Now lift the left knee and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the left knee, lower the left elbow, bring the eye gaze to face the ground. Now slide the left hand all the way back up to the upper diamond, lengthen the left leg, and slowly pull the elbows underneath the shoulders, and we come into our Mackenzie press up. Sink the elbows into the ground, lift the head up. The eye gaze look between the index fingers. Now slowly lower the chin towards the chest, sink the elbows into the ground, lift the ribs into the rib knit, begin to lift the navel up, Lift the pelvis, feel the low back flatten out, thoracic spine curl even more. Let the head hang, the eye gaze looks between the knees, and we hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we slowly lower the pelvis all the way back down. The navel touches and the chest lifts up, the elbows sink and the shoulders drop. Give a few breaths up into the armpits. Good. Now let's slowly lower back down into our prone position. Arms in the upper diamond. Let's slowly bring our left or our right leg up into the lower diamond. Okay, now let's slowly bring our left knee to stack on top of the outside right ankle. So lift the left leg up, bring it up over to the right, stack the knee or the leg over the outside right ankle. Now let's go ahead and bend the left knee, dorsiflex the left ankle. Take a pause here. Feel how this is stretching in your abdomen, your hip, your spine. Now pull the right elbow into the V arm. Lift the right elbow up. Now press the right hand into the ground, and the eye gaze looks over at the right elbow crease while the left knee is bent and left knee stacked on the outer right ankle. Press the right hand into the ground. Feel the ground force reaction going up into the right shoulder. The right shoulder blade now squeezes towards the spine. Now there we go. And then we slowly lower the right elbow down. Rotate the eye gaze to face the ground. Slide the right hand back up. Take a deep breath into the armpit. Lift the left knee up off of the right foot. Lengthen out the left leg. Slide the right leg all the way through. Now let's come back into our Mackenzie press up. Elbows underneath the shoulders. Sink the elbows, hands in quad pod palm. Feel the elongation of the lumbar spine first, the restoration of the lumbar. Then we go into the next move, lowering the chest, the chin to the chest, lifting the navel up, rib knitting, slowly lifting the pelvis. The thoracic spine begins to round. The eye gaze looks between the knees, and we hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we begin to lower the pelvis, lower the navel, lift the chest up, and the eye gaze looks between the index finger. Good work. Take a deep breath up into the armpit. Then we slowly open up our elbows, bring the forehead back down to the ground, upper diamond, arms. Then we bring our left leg up to the lower diamond, left foot is in the midline. Now lift the right leg, bring it on over until the right femur above the knee is stacked on the outside of the left foot. Now bend the right knee, dorsiflex the right foot. Feel the elongation along the right hip and in through the spine. Take a deep breath in. Pull the left elbow into the V arm. Lift the left arm up. Push the left hand into the ground. So we're in a left rotation with our rib cage. The eye gaze looks up at the left elbow crease. Nice work. And slowly lowering the left elbow down. Rotate the eye gaze to face ground. Bring the hand up. Index fingers touching. Lift the right knee up. Bring it back down in the line of the hip. Bring the right leg all the way down. Slide the left leg through and slowly come back up into our Mackenzie press up. Elbows on the ground, ground expanding, descending the shoulders, quad pod palm and earth palm. Slowly bring the chin down. Peel the navel up off of the ground. Knit the ribs, pelvis lift, keep the upper back rounded. Eye gaze looks between the knees, flatten out the low back, and we hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower the pelvis, navel, leave the chest, bring the chest up, sink the elbow. Good, good. Now slowly open the elbows, slide all the way back down. Forehead on the ground, upper diamond. Okay, now let's slide the right elbow into the V arm. Okay, now press the right hand into the ground and the right elbow lifts up. Eye gaze looks over at the right wrist crease. So we're in a right rib cage rotation. Okay, now lower the eye gaze to face the ground. Bring the right elbow tip or right elbow back into the V arm. Now lift the right elbow once again. Bring the eye gaze to look over at the right elbow crease. Press the right hand into the ground once again. Lower the right elbow. Bring the eye gaze to face the ground. Now slide the left arm out to the 90-degree arm. Lift the right elbow. Press the right hand into the ground. Eye gaze looks at the right elbow crease. Create a go ahead, lift the left elbow up off of the ground. So the left elbow lifts up towards the sky. That helps stretch out the pec muscle. But the eye gaze is still looking at the right wrist, pressing the right hand into the ground. The left shoulder is lifted. Left elbow is lifting up towards the sky. Lower the left elbow, stretch out the left arm even more. Lower the right elbow. bring the eye gaze to face the ground. Lift the right elbow, press the right hand into the ground, rotate the eye gaze to look at the right wrist, lift the right elbow up towards the sky. Lower the left elbow, left shoulder, lower the right shoulder. Bring the eye gaze to face the ground, pull the left arm to the V arm, right arm to the 90-degree arm. Left elbow comes up, press the left hand into the ground. The eye gaze looks at the left elbow crease, just like we're going to do the prone scorpion. Press the left quad pod palm, feel the left scapula lifting up towards the sky. That opens up the rib rotation even more. Now lower the left elbow to touch the ground, eye gaze to look at the ground. Lift the left elbow, press the left hand into the ground, eye gaze at the left elbow crease. Now lift the right elbow and the right shoulder towards the sky. That creates more elongation along the chest and throughout the spine. Lower the right elbow, lower the left elbow, bring the eye gaze to face the ground. Left elbow comes up, press the left hand into the ground, eye gaze looks over at the left wrist or the elbow crease. Now bring the right elbow up towards the sky, same with the right shoulder. Feel the stretching throughout the spine. Lower the right elbow and the right shoulder. Lower the left elbow all the way down. Slide the right arm to the upper diamond. Lift the left elbow. Press the left hand into the ground with the push-up arm through the quad pod palm for the ground force react. Hold. Breathe. Slowly lower the left arm all the way back down. Rotate the eye gaze to face the ground. One more time. Lift the left elbow, press the left hand into the ground, rotate the head over to the left elbow crease, and slowly bring the eye gaze to face the ground. Lower the left elbow, slide all the way back up to the upper diamond. Okay, let's bring our right leg back into our lower diamond, forehead on the ground. Now lift the head up. Now lift the right foot up away from the ground. So the femur goes into this internal rotation. So the foot reaches up towards the sky as the femur internally rotates. The right pelvis lowers towards the ground. Now reach your right hand up to see if you can grab the right ankle, or the right heel. So the right hand is reaching up to the right heel, and you just grab the right heel. Okay, now you gently begin to lift the head up off of the ground. The left arm is still in the upper diamond. Eye gaze is looking at the ground. Now the base of your rib cage is pressing in the ground. The right shoulder blade is pulling in towards the spine, and the right shoulder is back. The eye gaze is looking up at the left wrist. So you're going into like a mini Mackenzie press up, but with your femur in a different placement. And slowly lower the head all the way back down. Bring the right hand all the way back down to the upper diamond. Lower the right hand all the way back down, or the right foot, and then slide the right leg all the way to a straight leg. Now bring the left leg up to the side, lower diamond. Lift the left foot towards the sky. Reach the left hand to grab the left ankle. Elongate the left femur away from the pelvis. Slowly begin to lift the head up off of the ground. Hold the left shoulder back. Squeeze the left scapula. Eye gaze and the head lifts up, and the eye gaze looks up at the right wrist. Here we go. We'll just hold. Feel how the ground expansion comes out of the right elbow and the right hand. Allow the navel to sink into the ground. Relax the glutes. Slowly begin to lower the head all the way back down. Release the left ankle. Bring the left arm back to the upper diamond. Lower the left foot. Straighten out the left leg. Okay, now let's go ahead and bend the left knee, bring in the heel towards the glute. Windmill the left arm to the 45 down. Now reach up and grab the left top of the foot. The right hand slides to the 45 down. Bend at the right knee. The right hand grabs the top of the right foot. If you get a hamstring cramp, like I just did on my right leg, go ahead and straighten out the leg. Bend the knee once again. Grab the top of the feet. Now press the top of the feet into the hands. Bring the shoulders back. Slowly lift the head. Go into this bow position in yoga, lifting the head up, pulling the shoulders back, the feet pressing into the hand, feeling the stretch of the front of the body and the lumbar curve restoration. Lifting the knees up even higher and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the knees. Relax the hands. Come back to the upper diamond. Straighten the legs. Bring the forehead all the way down to the ground. Slowly come back into our Mackenzie press up, sinking the elbows into the ground, quad pod palm and earth palm. Slowly scoop the chin down, lift the navel, lift the pelvis, sink the knees, the eye gaze between the knees, rounding the upper back. Keep the pelvis closer to the ground than up, and we hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower the pelvis, lower the navel, lift the chest up, sink the elbows, and relax the shoulders. Now let's do a deep breath into the armpit for 3 times. Good work. Now let's roll over into the meta restore position to help bring some backline awareness into our spine and our body, allowing the head, thoracic spine, sacrum sink to the ground. We allow the shoulder blades and the feet, the back of the hands. Now let's go into our base vertical rhythm to retrain the feet to be under the pelvis and to allow the legs to integrate with the spine. Notice if the spine feels like it has a better spinal pump. You're getting more motion out of your 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock.